I didn't record it. I did not record it. So I'm getting that on there right away. And I'm going to take myself out of here. And there we go. So once again, thank you so much for being here today. I would love to hear, pop in the chat, let me know you're here, say hi, and let me know, where you're from, if you think that you are stuck in any area, you're free to share that, but just say hi, let me know you're here, and, show me some love. That's all. I'll show you guys some love too. So we are here today to talk about 3 mistakes that new and struggling VAs make and how to fix them. As I've said, it's really, really important. Whatever you are doing in your business, if it's not going well for you, if it is not, if you don't love things every single day, hold on here, shift this over here. Hello from Sault Ste. Marie in Kingston, Wendy, Indiana. Nice to see you. Red Deer, Alberta. I'm going to Alberta in October, Erin. I'm super excited. So let me see if I can get back to here. And so whatever you're doing in your business, if it's not going right for you, or you're not happy about it, or things just aren't sort of turning out for the way that you want them to every single day, there are lots of things that you can fix, and you can fix easily. And so that's what I'm trying to cover on this particular webinar today, is some things that maybe you don't even realize that you're doing are wrong, but I can give you a solution for them, and it will make things a lot easier. Hi, Teresa in Vancouver. And so that's what we want to get into. So I'm just going to jump right in, and there we go. Hi there, it's me. You saw me a minute ago on my video. I'm here in my office, but I do like to sort of tell you a little bit about me. I know that a lot of you, I'm fairly visible in our communities, whether you're here from the association or whether you're here from my Your VA Mentor community. And I'm fairly visible, lots of video out there. You can see me with, rangy hair. You can see me outside, and I can't wait to get outside in my back deck, my office on the back deck, and work out there. Not today, because it actually got really, really cold all of a sudden again, which is kind of odd. But anyway, I do like to show you sort of in my natural habitat. I'm just a regular VA, just like you guys are, okay? And I know that I actually had an interesting conversation last week with a VA who said she was having a fangirl moment actually speaking with me. And I was so humbled. It took me off guard a little bit, because I don't get that, I'm just here to help you guys. I like to try to be personable and give you the information that you need and help you along, because I've been doing this for a really long time. And so I really want to, be real with you and be me with you. So here's a picture of me having a glass of wine in my Guinness sweatshirt in my kitchen. It's not fancy. I don't live in a, huge fancy house or anything like that. But, we do well. We like what we do, and we like where we live. Actually, we love where we live. And I'm just married. I have a 24-year-old son. Actually, he's almost 24. And that's when I started being a VA. I was 7 months pregnant with my son whenever I was leaving my job. And I worked at a job that I didn't really like. I did some things in it that I was really, good at and very interested in, and that kind of thing. But I knew that after I had the baby, I was not going to come back to work. We didn't live in the city. I didn't want to commute in. Like I said, didn't love what I was doing. So as I was leaving, my boss just sort of said to me, I was 7 months pregnant at the time. And he said, "So when are you coming back to work?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm actually not coming back to this job." And so he said, "Well, one of the things that you do for me is really, really important." And so I did I was sort of a systems analyst and a financial analyst for a hospitality, a restaurant and bar and catering chain here in Ottawa, where I live. And so he said he had done the work that I was doing. I was doing a lot of cost analysis and a lot of, variable financial reports and all that kind of stuff, and sort of keeping everybody on track, making sure that they were only spending the amount of money that they were supposed to spend. And so it was really valuable work. I was also doing a lot of other stuff too, that was sort of admin and whatever. And, my boss just said to me, "Well, what you're doing is really important work." And so the very first thing he did was validate me, and I started feeling bad, but I didn't feel that bad. And he he said, what if we like farm out all your other tasks, but you just do this one thing? Because he was the one who did it before I came along, and he didn't want to go back to do it, and he didn't want to teach anybody else how to do it. So we made a little deal, and he said, work when you want to work and invoice me, and we can email, and you can come in occasionally if you need to, but I don't really see the need for you to be doing that. And so I started off, and so I didn't really intend to open a business. I really didn't know, what it was about. And so I made all these mistakes and more. I'll tell you, I struggled for a really long time because I didn't have the training that I needed to put the foundations in place. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't know anything about it. I did all of the things that I think you guys are probably doing here now too. If you're here looking for, some support anywhere, actually in my community, if you're looking for support to get clients or do a better job at your marketing, or learn how to network, or set your rates, whatever it is that you're looking to learn. I didn't know how to do any of that. I just jumped right into it. And so I struggled for a really long time. And it wasn't until I actually started working with someone, a business coach, who pointed that stuff out to me and said, well, you don't even have a business plan. You haven't figured out your rates properly. You haven't done all of this stuff. You don't know who you can help. You're just trying to be everything to everybody. And these are the conversations that I have with you guys every single day. I talk to a lot of you who either work with me or just find resources from me. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you, because I struggled for a really long time, and I don't want you to do that. And so that's why I do what I do. I'm teaching you today 3 basic mistakes and, how to fix them. And that's fantastic. I also have, some information that I'm going to share with you about how I can help you further if that's what you want to do. But I'm here teaching you this because I know how valuable it is. I know how valuable it was for me. And everything changed. Everything changed after I, after I learned what it is that I was doing wrong. And, I doubled my rates. I had a really good business. There was all kinds of stuff that came to me because I did things properly, and I fixed a few of the mistakes that I was making. So that's me. And I like red wine. And obviously I like beer too, because that's on my sweatshirt. Just a little thing that you can learn about me. So today we're going to talk about the 3 mistakes. We're obviously going to talk about how to fix them. Like I just said, I will have a special offer for you, which you are free to take advantage of, or you can just walk away with your 3 mistake solutions from the training that we are doing. So I just want to make sure I don't see a little recording thing in the corner. Okay, as long as you guys do, that's okay. So does that sound good to everybody? Just a yes in the chat will be fantastic. If that sounds like a good little practice for us to do today. And I value your time, so I really do want to try to keep on time, but I will be available for questions afterwards, whether it's about the content or whether it's about the offer that I make to you. And I'm just looking forward to getting started. So let's go. Why do VAs make mistakes? I just told you a little bit about my story. We're not alone. All new business owners do, especially our clients. Think about the people that you're working with or that you have worked with. And, they're doing things that they've never done before. A lot of clients start working with a virtual assistant, and they make all kinds of mistakes because they don't realize, that this is not their employee, or that this is not, that it's not, that they don't know how to do things virtually, or they don't understand how a lot of things work, and how the relationship works, and what your role is, and that kind of thing. And it's because they're new at it too. So I always talk about you being your client's equal. I think it's really, really important to identify that you're a business owner in your own right, and we're not less than someone just because we're called a virtual assistant. We do assist them, but that doesn't mean that they're on a higher level on the rung, or on the ladder, higher rung on the ladder, pardon me, than we are. We are a business owner with a specialty, and your specialty can be whatever your services are. The thing that you do the best is what you want to be offering your clients. And so how to do that. You're solid in that. And your client is solid in the services that they offer their clients. But you need to understand that you're their equal. And it's really, really important to recognize that, you're the one who's providing the service to them, and help them learn how to do it as well if you're all brand new. It's not your fault if you make any of the mistakes that we'll talk about, or some of the other ones that may come up as I kind of tell you stories and that type of thing. But the first step is obviously to admit that, oh my gosh, I am doing that, and I really want to fix it. And that's what we're going to talk about. So mistake number 1. how do you like Lucy? Boy, I love Lucy. She's just awesome, right? She always used to make me laugh. And I still feel sometimes like, that's exactly my attitude some days. Sometimes there's like smoke over her head and that kind of thing. So mistake number one is letting the client take charge. And further to what I was just saying a little bit, you are not on the lower rung on the ladder with your client. You're not their employee. You cannot let them treat you as such. So clients like to, and it can start right from the discovery call, right? You tell them that you meet them wherever. I don't know where you're finding your clients right now, but if you're in a Facebook group or a networking group, or you have an inquiry form on your website and they happen to post an inquiry or put in an inquiry for you. And you start to, it begins with the discovery call, right? I hope you're all doing discovery calls. That's not one of my mistakes. So I'll just cover that. Like I said to you, I may come up with other stuff as we talk, but if you're not doing discovery calls, if you're not actually speaking with the client before you sign them and work with them, that's one thing that you really need to be doing. And so the letting the client take charge often begins right here. And, you let the client run the call like an interview. And that's just something that we can't do. We can't have them treating us less than right from the get-go, right? You are the one, you're the contractor, you're the one providing the services. So you need to make sure that you're stepping up. You have a discovery call or sales conversation checklist. You ask them specific information. You talk to them about whether you can help them or not. And you take charge of the call. You're in charge of how long the call goes. You're in charge of, what gets covered on it and what doesn't. I know a lot of VAs get right into it with clients and start helping them, screen sharing and helping them with things and whatever. And you're not able to, no, you're not able to, that's not what I mean. You shouldn't be solving any of their problems on the discovery call. You should actually just be querying them, right? Finding out if you can do what they need you to do. They don't need to show you stuff. They should be able to articulate it. And one of the things I think that is really important in terms of our communication with clients is understanding from the discovery calls like setting, how they communicate. And so we need to see, can they articulate what it is that they need? And do we understand that? And can we have a conversation about it? Or is it necessary for them to show you? And, that's going to jump over into your work relationship with them. So there's another, mistake. There you go. I say I could cover these all day. I really just want to do my 3. So I'm going to move on from this, but letting the client take charge is a really big thing. You're not their employee. They are not better than you. They're not bigger than you. It's an equal partner relationship that you have with them. And so that's what you need to do, is fix it. You need to take charge. I love this little image as well. Who's in charge? Oh, right, I am. It's like, when you say somebody's running around in like the McDonald's playland or something, making all kinds of racket, and you say, where's your mother? And then you go, oh my goodness, that's me. That's right, I'm the mother, and I should be looking after this. So you need to take charge. You need to do all the things that a business owner does to run your business, right? You get to set your rates, and you can write all of this down. I don't have a slide for this. I do very minimal slides, just so you know. So, write this down. You get to set your rates. You get to set and detail your policies. You get to set all the boundaries with your clients, what your office's hours are, what your response times are, what your lead times are. You get to set your schedule. When are you working? When are you not? When do you that's the thing. When do you get back to them? How you communicate. This is all you. The client doesn't get to dictate any of these things. It's your business. Now, if the client has a suggested project management system that they like to use, and you're like, yeah, that sounds good to me, or that they pay for or something, that's great. You have the opportunity to say yes to those things. And you also have the opportunity to say no to those things as well. You get to detail the scope of work, and you get to make sure that the things that you're doing are things that you want to do. You're not beholden to any client. It doesn't matter what if you have your contract signed and that kind of thing. You don't have to do the things that you don't like doing, that you don't feel skilled at, or that you don't want to do. It's your business, and you want to build a business that you like to run every single day, right? It's just one of those things that often happens is that we just kind of settle into the assistant role. And the assistant role is absolutely to help them with the tasks that you've agreed to for their business. But it's not about doing whatever they say. And it's not about doing it when they say, and it's not about, all of those things. It's not about them negotiating your rate with you and doing it for whatever money they tell you to do it for. This is one of the biggest mistakes, and why it's number one for me. Is anybody letting the client take charge right now, or have you done it in the past? A little yes in the chat, a little ugh, anything that you want to say, it's totally fine. Have I done this? Absolutely, you guys, I have done this, and I've done it with way more clients than I probably like to admit. We get hungry for signing somebody and getting the work, and so maybe we'll barter our services, or maybe we'll discount our rates, or maybe we'll do all those kinds of things. And we're doing it oftentimes because the client suggests it, right? So we don't want to do that. So number one thing is letting the client take charge is your mistake. How to fix it? Just take charge. Do those things that I'm talking about. Set your rates properly. Stand behind the policies and the boundaries and the scheduling and communication, all of those things that you have put together, that you did put together in your, whenever you started to put together things. I didn't set response time and schedule, Diane says. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, I'll tell you, every time we set a policy in our business, it's normally a reaction to something. Something went wrong, therefore we fix it for the next time, right? We have clients who pay us late. So if you're one of your policies is they have to prepay you, and someone said, client says to you, well, I don't really feel comfortable prepaying you. That's a client you should walk away from and say, my policy is that I take prepayment. And you need to be able to build up the confidence to stand behind that policy if you've said it in your business, but they don't get to decide when they pay you or how much they pay you. It's just not okay, right? So those are the things, and response times are important, especially as you're getting started. I always caution my new VAs to say, don't respond to a client immediately. Don't have a conversation through email or messenger or anything like that, because when you give them immediate response like that, and then you start to get busier with other clients, you start to lack in the response time. It happened to me. It absolutely happened to me with more than one of my clients, but one was very vocal about it. And she said, you used to get back to me a lot sooner. And I knew I did, because I didn't have a lot of clients. She was one of my first clients. And now it takes you a long time to get back to me. So you really need to do, set those response times and stay conscious, I guess, of how your business is going to run further down the road, and make sure that you're looking at all those kinds of things. So take charge for sure. And, it's just fun. It's empowering, right? It's you are the one who runs your own business. Your clients don't run your business, so they can't really make any rules about it. So mistake number 2, and I touched on this a little bit already, is not detailing the scope of work. So he's here. We're going to be short staffed today. If you could just go ahead and do the work of 3, that would be great. Who has worked with a client who you start doing one thing and then they say, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Hands up, yes in the chat. I have done this, guys, so many times. If all of you don't reply yes to this, I'm going to think you're just being shy and you don't want to actually share that you've done this before. This is another really huge mistake that VAs make. New or struggling, like I say, that you don't have to be new at this. As my clients got more comfortable with me, we had a really good relationship, right? And so that's what would happen. Is I had one client who she wanted to do webinars, and I offered virtual event services. So that was obviously something that I was doing for a lot of my clients, including her. But she didn't like, we were using, this was a long time ago, you have to, so we were using GoToWebinar as a webinar system. And there were things about it that she didn't like. I don't remember, specifically what they were, but there was something that she wanted to do that she couldn't do in it. So she started exploring all the new webinar services that were coming out. And so I had to learn them. And I didn't say no. I just kept learning these new softwares. They were pretty similar to each other, but then we would set up a webinar in one. So I'd have to change my procedures. And then we'd set up a webinar in another. And she'd try that one and she wouldn't like it. And, I learned 7 webinar systems. I didn't charge her for any of it because I thought, oh, I'll be able to use these with my other clients, which I never did. I mean, not to the point that, my time was valuable. And when, we went back to GoToWebinar. Of course we did, because it was the really, now we have Zoom, and I don't know, I know so few people who aren't on Zoom and not using Zoom, particularly in the last 2 years, of course. But with this client, we went all the way back. So she had me learn 7 different systems, because we were comfortable in our client VA relationship, and she knew that I would do it. She didn't say that she wouldn't pay me, but it's one of those things that it was creep. It was scope creep. It was so much scope creep. And so you want to be really cautious of that. You want to detail it in the beginning. A contract is the key. One of the things that I think, in the sample contract that I give people, whether you're training with me or whether you're part of the association, it has a scope of work section. All contracts have a scope of work section, but a lot of people don't put any details into them. They don't say, these are the tasks that I'm going to do. And I always put at the bottom, like I'll say email management. And if there's a volume of number of emails or a number of time that you're going to be working with that on that for somebody, I detail that too. The scope of work is very important in a contract. And I always put at the bottom, and other duties as maybe, agreed to by the VA and the client. So you leave yourself open there, but that doesn't mean that you have to include them in, whatever you're doing today. And it certainly doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything that the client says. It always says that whatever, agreed to by the VA and the client. And so your contract is really going to be important. And I'm going to get back to the discovery call too, is that's something that is so important when you're talking to the client on your discovery call to see if they're going to be a good fit, is to really talk about the things that they need help with. Detail the scope of work on that call. That's super important. It's not, are you a VA? Can you help me? Yes, I can. How much do you charge? I charge $30 or $40 an hour, whatever it is. Okay, that's great. Let's get started. You need to be really clear on, what do you need help with? And, sometimes that if you're working with people who aren't that familiar with VAs, maybe you have an intake form where they have to fill in some information first, or, maybe you have a, quick checklist. Let's just go over a few things first. And you can make that list and make sure that you're qualifying that person to be a good client for you. It starts at the discovery call. And so you want to really know that you are going to help. And because you can say to them, they say, well, I might need some light bookkeeping, or, you can do my appointment setting, or that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't do bookkeeping and I don't do phone work. So it's okay to say, these are the things that I do offer if you need them. And sometimes if the focus that the client needs is on services that you don't offer, then that means that that's not going to be a good client for you at this time. Whenever they need help with their marketing or email or scheduling or travel or whatever it is that you help people with, then that's when they can, revisit and start to use you. So not detailing the scope of work is really, really important. It's a big mistake to make. And all you need to do is identify what you will do. Okay. You want to revisit, if you're already working with somebody, you want to, and here's my tips if you want to write these down. You want to revisit what you're doing for your clients. If scope creep is an issue for you right now, you want to have a meeting with them and say, I just want to have a conversation and make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to. I've made some changes in my services. I want to make sure that that's reflecting what I'm doing for you, and look for opportunities to do more work with clients for sure, if it's something that's in your scope of work. One of the other things too, that sometimes what does not happen is when we sign a contract with a client, we don't revisit the contract. We just leave the contract in place. We don't raise the rate. We don't change the scope. We don't really do anything. And when you are when your business changes, or when your client's business changes, and I found this all the time, that everybody's business has changed all the time. Like we were moving and shaking, and I was helping them with marketing, so we were doing different things all the time. You want to be able to reissue a contract. I have a couple of clients that actually do that. They rework their contracts all the time with their clients, and I think it's a great idea. I'll tell you, it's not something that I did. I left my clients at the same rate for a long time. I never gave them a new contract, and so you want to make sure that you're looking at that kind of stuff too. And like I say, if you don't have something like that written in your contract right now, that you're going to revisit the scope of work and the rates and all of the policies and boundaries and those kinds of things on a regular basis, you want to put that in there and make sure that you mention that to people. You say, we'll, here's the contract to get us started, and, we'll revisit it once a year. Everybody gets a performance evaluation at a job, and you should be doing the same thing at least once a year with a client, or, more often if things really change drastically, right? So, but you want to detail things out. You want to write down what it is that you're going to do, and be very clear about the things that you don't want to do, or that you can't do, or that you're just not interested in doing. And then you need to hold to it, right? Whenever you have those things that creep in, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? If you haven't allowed for a certain amount of time in your monthly contract with a client for those miscellaneous tasks that I was talking about, then they should be, you should be revising your contract, or at least doing a change order or whatever, so that you get paid to do the extra work. And I think that that's one of the things that we falter on a lot too. Is anybody having problem with scope creep? Yes, in the comments, let us know what it is, whatever. But scope creep to me is another really, really big thing that comes up with VAs. And the mistake that we make is not that it happens, because it's natural, right? I mean, especially if you're the only support person for your client, they need something done, they're going to ask you to do it. I remember as a secretary sitting in the office, I often had many departments asking, or not working with me, but drawing on my services. And so, what would they do? They'd walk up, hi, can you do this? Sure. Hi, can you do this? Sure. Like, I mean, your inbox just filled up, and you just kind of did whatever everybody needed, right? So the mistake is letting it go and either not getting paid for things, or doing things that you're either not skilled at or that you really don't want to do. And I think that having, really clear communication with your clients is something that is really going to work in your favor, particularly with scope creep. So that is mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 is billing by the minute. Is anybody billing by the minute right now? And what I mean by that is, are you not so much time tracking, but literally, charging for every minute that you are working for somebody? The time tracking programs are fantastic. Time billing sucks, to be quite honest, but I'm not somebody who will tell you that, you can't charge by the hour. Absolutely will never tell you that. A lot of VAs, it's a service. There's absolutely no problem with charging any way that you want to charge, but charging by the minute is not the same. And so one of the things that I get so frustrated with whenever I talk to VAs who are struggling is to find out that they're billing, sometimes 3 minutes for a task, or 8 minutes for a task, or something like that. And it's really, really, that's just not a way to grow your business. It's really, really challenging to account for every single minute. I'm overwhelmed by the idea. Hold on here just a minute. Wendy, I'm overwhelmed by the idea of getting everything into the contract. I have access to it's, the thing is, we just do what we do, right? And so in terms of putting your contract together and those kinds of things, that's why we have the sample for you, because it's basically all done for you, and you just have to pop in certain things, right? You don't have to make decisions. And like I was saying earlier, we make changes to our policies based on things that happen in our business. So, if you find that you have better communication with people by telephone or by instant message and that kind of thing, and you want to change, the way that you communicate with people because it's easier for you, you can do whatever it is that you want. But in terms of getting, getting things sort of settled and being able to hold your clients to that kind of stuff, just getting started is the simpler part, right? So, but charging by the minute is one of those things that, it's the faster you work, the less you get paid. Like, it doesn't really make any sense. And so understandably, the client is charging you for the time that you are working. And so you don't want to overcharge somebody. But what I find with charging by the minute, and it's true in almost every case, is that at the end of the day, the VA feels that they've worked like 6 hours billable, and they're only actually billing 4 hours, because you start to lose track of your time. You start to lose, you can't account for some of the things that you've done because the time increments are so small. And so it's necessary to start. I think that, the other flip side of that is that a lot of VAs that I do talk to who are getting started, they want to charge by package right off the bat. And they think that that's because they don't have to track their time anymore. But when you have a package, you absolutely still have to make sure that you are only working as much time as you've allotted for that package. So it's not about time tracking. It's about charging by the minute. Like you need to make sure that that package is remaining profitable for you. And if you're charging, if you're charging retainer hours out, so somebody can buy 20 hours and retain your time, and you're ticking time off that retainer, you want to be doing it in a smarter way too. And so charging by the minute, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. How many are we into now? We were 31 minutes into this particular call, and we've covered a lot of stuff, right? We've done a lot of stuff. We're getting to, we're into mistake number 3. And so there, you can do a lot in 1 minute of time, but it's not a good way to run your business. And so, if you see, there's those memes that go around on Facebook too, that say, I'm not paying you for the 10 minutes that it took me. I think it's an electrician or something like that. Not paying you for the 10 minutes that it took me to do this. You're paying me, or you're not paying me for the 10 minutes, pardon me. You're paying me for the 30 years of experience I have and all of the education and certification that I've had. And that's why the job is $500. And it's not, it's not for 10 minutes times my time. And I want you to get to that point too, where that's the way you think of your business, and you're providing a service, and you don't have to rook anybody. It's not about that whatsoever. I think that is sometimes we're trying to be too honest, right? Or we're erring on the side of our lack of confidence, but also just, being really stringent and saying to the client, you only pay for the time that I'm working for you. And, we say it, you don't have to pay me when I go for a coffee. You don't have to pay me when I go to the bathroom, or, take a holiday, or go to the, have my lunch or something like that. And that it's true, but at the same time, their clients aren't paying them for those things either. And so we want to get really careful about not dwindling our time away because we're trying to be honest, or we're trying to be, thrifty with the time. So and I think the main thing is about tracking it, that, you're going to spend more admin time tracking this way than you are. Oops, here you go. You're going to spend more admin time tracking it than you actually are earning income. If you have to log into your time tracking thing and put in 3 minutes because you checked some emails or something like that, like that's costing you time, right? So you want to make sure that you're looking at that. And I think it's really important to reiterate, that the faster you work, that if you find efficiencies, say if all of a sudden you get a procedure down for something, and so you can do it a lot faster, you're going to get paid less to do it. And so if something takes you an hour to begin with, I use the example of a newsletter all the time. I used to do newsletters for my clients all the time. And so I would charge them an hour for a newsletter. And at first I just charged them how long it took me to do the newsletter. And it was running me about an hour of time. But, the more you do things, like I say, you've developed procedures, maybe you're using better systems. Everything we use online seems to get better, right? And so, I continue to charge my client an hour for a newsletter, an hour of my time. That was my billable rate, because even though I could do them then faster, now I was better at them. I had more expertise. I had a process, and I never missed things, and so it's really important to see your value in the services that you're offering. One of the things that I always say is, that billing by the minute is, it's just, you can set a billable time. Actually, I'll go to my next slide here. I thought I was on it. There we go. Is changing your rate structure. So you can bill by 15-minute increments. That to me just makes a whole lot more sense. And so that doesn't mean that every time you do something for a client, it's 15 minutes. But what I want you to do is I want you to start to put together procedures for the things that you do and set a rate for them. Figure out your billable rate. What is that? And that's your hourly rate. I call it a billable rate because I think instead of looking at things from an hourly and a time perspective, I want to look at things as this is revenue. This is billable time for you. And so I want you to start calling it that. Call it your billable rate. What do you bill out to clients, right? And just a second. Yeah, 15-minute increments. And so what I would do, and again, I'm as honest a VA as anybody is. So I would look for things to fill that 15 minutes of time, but then I would start at 12 o'clock and I would finish at 12:15, knowing that those are the things I was doing. But what I want you to do is I want you to create those processes, write out those task procedures and say, this is how I do something, and then set a billable rate to that. So if, like I say, if I was doing that newsletter for that client, that is a billable rate of an hour. If I got it done in 40 minutes today, that's great. Maybe tomorrow it's going to take me an hour and 5 minutes. You know, it shouldn't take you longer, but you want to be able to look at those things and say, on average, this is what it should take me to do. And the reason that it's important is that as your business starts to grow, if you decide that you want to bring other people into your business, like subcontractors or that kind of thing, you want to get help doing something, you also want to know how long stuff takes, right? It also helps. So you can, you can assign that. You can say to the subcontractor, here's a newsletter that, gets done. I have a billable, time of 1 hour on that. So it needs to get done within that hour. And then you make sure that somebody else can do that task within an hour, even if it's their first time doing it. And so you want to have a process in place for that. You also, by having your billable rate figured out and having your rate structure sorted out, it also helps you on your discovery calls, because then when you're talking to a client, like I have boards here that have all my billable rates on them, or I have fewer now because I'm doing less VA work, but I had them, and I would have those boards right beside me on a conversation on a discovery call with a client, and they would say, I need a newsletter, I need social media, I need customer service, I need you to do my emails and my travel and that kind of thing. And so I had these billable rates figured out. And this is the way I teach you to do stuff too, in all of my programs and all the training that I do. Figure out what you're assigning as a billable time to something, because then when you're having a conversation with somebody, you can build a package right on a discovery call with somebody. And you say, I think you're falling into about, my $700 a month package based on doing 3 newsletters and, 2 social media accounts, or, whatever it is. Like you can identify those things. So when you start to do that, when you structure your rates in a way that you have a task rate and a billable rate, those are the things that are going to help you move forward, right? And it's a little bit complicated to think about sort of arbitrarily, but that's exactly the way I teach people to do it. And then when you do decide that you're going to start creating packages, things make a whole lot more sense, because you've got that billable rate. You have your processes detailed out with the task time. You know how long it takes someone to complete that, and you know what the billable rate is for that particular task. It makes it easy to create packages. It makes it easy to have conversations. It makes it easy to bring subcontractors into your, into your business if that's what you want to do. But it also helps you get paid at the end of the day. It helps you to know that the bill you're sending the client has all of the stuff on it that you have done for them, and that you're not losing out on any money. Exactly. So let me know if that makes sense. I know that's a lot to unpack in one little thing. So there we go. We get in business to help people, and we get in business to make money. And I think that a lot of VAs, and I include myself in this every time I say you, or every time I say VAs, that's me too. I've been doing this for almost 24 years, like I said. And but I think we rely so heavily, or we leave ourselves in the help people part, where that's our role and that's what we want to do. And we don't think so much about the making money. We get discouraged if we don't make the money that we want to make, that's for sure. And sometimes we struggle with, either rates or sales or whatever it is, or, even just earning, right? And time tracking and being able to put it all together. But the make money is really, really important thing to focus on. And I want you guys to make sure that that's what you're doing as well. We are helping people and we are making money. It is a business, right? We stay in business by defining how we help people, and by physically doing it for sure, but also by making sure that we're fairly compensated for our work. And I think that that is one thing that we just don't talk about enough. I think there's a lot of ways for people to, promise that you can make all kinds of money in your business, but they don't talk about that part of it, that you have to think about profit, and that you have to make sure that, and it's not about, like I say, it's not about ripping off clients or saying, I'm going to set a higher rate so I work with fewer clients, but I make more money. I do everything by math. I really feel it's important, and processes and math are the things that determine the revenue that's going to come into your business. So, you do these things, how many clients do you need to make the revenue that you want to make in your business, right? We are responsible for our own businesses. The clients are responsible for theirs. And so being able to help them is what we do. We're service professionals. It's absolutely what we do, but it's not the thing that should override all the decisions that we make in our business, like these mistakes I'm talking about, about letting them take charge. They're not, it's just not allowed. Like, I don't know if you got that from my very long first mistake demonstration. They're just not allowed. They can do that. They can make all the decisions in their own business. You need to make the decisions in your own business. Hold on, I've got one comment here. So yeah, there we go. And we're responsible for ours. So we need to make sure that we're doing that, right? We need to make sure that we're detailing the scope of work and that we're holding everybody to it. Like we're not, that we're not just kind of going along and saying yes to everybody every time. We're not saying yes in a discovery call to things that we don't really want to do. You want to get really clear on being able to only help the people that you want to help with the things that you want to do, right? And then of course, charging properly for it. I think that that's really important as well. So I want you to be able to take charge of your business and be happy in it. I think that that's really the key. Like my mantra is anybody who wants to be able to work from home as a VA and support the lifestyle that they want to have for themselves should be able to do it. And that's the basis of all of my training. It's the basis of all of this stuff that I do, these free trainings, and the paid trainings that I do that I'll talk about in just a minute. But I just think that you should be able to do that. It's not that hard, but we have to change a few things. We have to change a few things in our mindset. We have to change a few things that we do during the day and the way that we perceive ourselves and the way that we present ourselves in order to do it successfully and to do it long term, right? Because I don't know about you, when I left my job way back when, I certainly didn't expect to be doing this 24 years later, which is kind of exciting, but I didn't plan. It wasn't something I wanted to do for 6 months. It was something that I did plan to do for long term. I didn't really know how it was going to look, and maybe you don't either. But it is something that you're passionate about and you want to do. And there are reasons. You have your why. You have the reasons that you want to be at home working, or stay at home working if it's something that you've been doing and you're just struggling with. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the offer that I have for you. I think it's a really cool offer. It's a brand new program which I've put together for you, and here we go. There it is. It's called your 5K VA plan. And basically what it is, it's a workshop. It's a 90-minute workshop that I've put together, and we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how to create a $5,000 a month VA business. Now, do you not want to make $5,000 a month, or do you not need to? That's totally fine. You can make that number whatever you want. You can make it 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever it is. But I'm going to show you in the workshop, I'm going to show you how to create what you need in order to build that. Okay. I think that one of the things that we forget about is that we do need to be compensated properly for our time. And I'm going to take you actually to, I'll take you to the sales page for this. Let me see. I'm going to stop that share and I'm going to start another one. And I'm just going to show you, is it here? That's a good question, Tracy. No, it's here, I think. Oh, okay. No, here we go. This one. And so here it is. So it's detailed here. It's a very simple little page. It's no big deal, but it's a workshop. It's on Thursday, April 14th. We're going to start at 3 o'clock. We'll go till 4:30. And I really want to, I just really want you to understand what you can create. Okay. If it's something that you're looking to and you haven't done it before, like I said to you, I was able, whenever I started working with my business coach, and really get these foundations down, all the foundations that I teach in my Getting Started program that some of you have taken and those kinds of things. But until somebody actually puts it and writes it down with you and uses your information and puts it in there, sometimes it's a pipe dream, right? Because you might be sitting there going, okay, well, sure, $5,000 a month. Everybody says that. I'd like to be able to make that. Well, it is a lot easier than you think, but you have to write it down. And once you understand what it looks like, that's when you can start to take the actions that you need to take in order to build that. Okay. So what we're going to do in this is we're going to change your mindset. We're going to talk about how valuable you are. We're going to do some exercises around, you know, what it is that you do and how valuable you are to your clients by providing those services and by providing you and for being you who you are. If you've taken the 5-day challenge with me, you know, we talk about your unique selling propositions and that kind of thing. And this is, you know, we're just going to talk really about you. What do you know and what can you use and leverage in order to, you know, change your own mindset? Because like I said, you're responsible for your business. So it's really important to be able to, you know, parlay that to clients. You need to sell yourself on how great you are before you can sell any of your clients, right? So we're going to show the world what an amazing and competent VA that you are. Adjust your pricing structure and your business model. These are two things that I teach in a couple of my bigger programs because they are kind of detail-y and that kind of thing, but it's easy to have somebody I can walk you through in this workshop. I'll walk you right through and show you what it looks like to be able to calculate that and put in, you know, so that you can earn the 5K a month, or like I say, 4K or 10K, whatever it is that you want. But look at it realistically and say, what do I need to do? How many clients do I need to work with? What hourly rate do I need to charge, or, you know, billable rate? How many hours a week do I have to work to earn the money that I want to earn? And then we'll talk very specifically also about your service offerings. And, you know, I say up level them. That doesn't mean we're going to start creating packages and that kind of thing, but we're going to really identify, what do you do for people and how does that fit into their business? I have a teaching that I call the client cycle, because every single business owner uses it, and will identify where your client, where you fit in your client cycle, their client cycle, and figure out what that means and how to talk about it. And then connecting with your clients in the right way and in the right place. Because once you understand how you can support them, then it's about going and having conversations with them and finding them. So it's a 90-minute workshop. It's very hands-on, and it'll just give you the clarity to build the plan and understand what you need to do next. And that's usually the way I teach people, is I give you the tools, I show you the stuff. We talk very specifically, obviously, about your business, and then I send you on your way, right? And you're able to just go and do things. But like I said to you earlier, before I wrote all this stuff down and figured all this out and had somebody holding my hand all the way through it, Brian, my lovely business coach, I was struggling too. And it was hard. I didn't like it. But I also had this mindset that business had to be hard. And when you know, if you only need to work with a few clients because you have some high level services that you want to offer, then that's great. If you want to work with a bunch of smaller clients, I had a combination of both, but I really loved my smaller clients because I was impacting their business so much more. And they were fun to work with, right? Because they were learning and growing at the same time. So whatever it is, we'll talk about those kinds of things in the workshop too. So I'm going to stop this and go back to the PowerPoint. Right. There we go. And I'm just going to grab the chat. Okay. Well, let me see. I just want to get back to, okay, I'll cover these questions actually in, yeah, I'll cover the questions after I give you just a little more information about this. So anyway, okay, so the group is, or the workshop is on Thursday, April 14th. Like I said, if I say the 15th a couple times, it's because I wrote the 15th all day long. And so it is, in fact, it's the Thursday. So if that's the 14th, then that's the day. You can go check it out that's the page we were just on, is the 5K plan. And I have some bonuses for you if you want to sign up today. I want to make this a no-brainer, you guys. It's $99 Canadian, obviously, plus tax wherever you live. And but I want to make this a no-brainer, so I'm including some bonuses for you to make it, you know, a little bit better value for you if you feel that you know, spending $100 is a challenge for you. I get it. My time management training for VAs, which is a self-study, my package your services training, which is also a self-study. And so, and a private coaching call with me. And these are valuable. I bill my time out at $300 an hour. I don't know if you guys know that with my private coaching. And so I want you to understand the value of getting on the phone with me and getting on a Zoom with me and being able to personally walk through the things that you have questions about or that you're working on and that kind of thing. So, you know, I do set a value to that as well. So it's over $250 in bonuses, I guess, and, you know, included in your $99. So we are And like I say, you are going to learn to shift your mindset. And it's such an important thing. I think that when we're struggling in any area of our business, and certainly with the 3 mistakes that we talked about today, it's often just a mindset thing where, we're sitting here and we're struggling. We don't want anybody to know. We don't want to talk about whether, we're doing things wrong or not. We don't want anybody to point out something that we're doing wrong. But in the interesting thing is that when we do know that, all we need to do is fix it, right? Like I gave you the 3 mistakes today and I showed you how to fix them. I gave you some tips on how to fix them. If you need more support around that, then all you need to do is go and find the support, whether it's talking to me or whether it's, finding a YouTube video. Ask really specific questions whenever you have something that you need to fix in your business, right? Ask them in the VA groups that you're in and those kinds of things. Make sure that you're asking a really specific question. How do I do this? And you'll get the answer, and because everybody is going to want to help you, and me included. Recreate your pricing structure so you're fairly compensated. I would bet that probably half of you on this call have not got your rates set correctly, and if you are setting them correctly, then you're maybe not using them properly in terms of scope creep and that kind of thing. You're doing more things for them, or you're billing by the minute, or you're not accounting for time that you are actually working, and we want to correct that. We want to make sure that we fix that. And then choose service offerings that showcase your best skills and ones that entrepreneurs need. We'll talk about those as well. When we're in a workshop format, I prefer it to, webinars like this, but of course we have to do as much as we can. But I love the workshops because we actually talk about you, one of the things that I love about my mastermind group and all the small group coaching that I do, and especially my private clients for sure, is, talking really realistically. Ask me a question about, I offer this service and I've gone to this Facebook group and, these people, whatever the question is, but we're talking really specifically about you. And that's one of these things that, with this workshop, that's what we can do. Make sure that you're showcasing your best skills, using the right words, talking to the right people, and knowing exactly what people need, what the entrepreneurs need, because you can put service offerings up there, but if you're not talking to people who need those services, if you're in the wrong place, or if you're not approaching the conversation the right way, then you're not going to get the client either. So there's the address again, the 5K plan. And oh yeah, well, of course, here's a little incentive for you, right? What would 5K a month help you do? I love this because I think that sometimes, like I say, we think about our business in terms of trading time for money, right? And so I do this, and the more I work, the more I get paid. Well, these are the things, the practical things that I know that I can do faster, or I can do if I have more revenue coming into my business. And that's the whole idea. We're trying to build a lifestyle for you. We're trying to make sure that you will be in business a long time, but you'll also enjoy being in business. You could pay off your mortgage or contribute to your household as much or more than your significant other. Ease your stress about money when bills come. Put your kids through college or save for it. Save for your retirement, or even help you just afford private health insurance or the expenses that come with your business, right? There's lots of different things that our money needs to, when it comes in, it doesn't just all make it to our bank account. There are things that we need to pay out. But, for me, private healthcare is a thing that we're starting to consider now, because we've never had it. My husband doesn't get it at work. But now, we're getting older and we need to start paying for a lot of things. There's medications, there's all kinds of stuff. And, sometimes that's something that comes up. So what are those things? Maybe some of those things are yours, things that you want to be able to pay for, or maybe you have other things. And I'd encourage you to make that list and think about the things that you want to do. And then, of course, there's the fun stuff. If you're lucky enough to have, somebody else who is also providing in your household, then maybe that's why you want to earn as much as you can. Taking a family vacation, or get away without the family, or, if you don't have a family, then go away with your friends, right? Spoil yourself now that we can travel. Like, really, I'm seeing all kinds of people looking at all kinds of vacation pictures. It's really awesome. So spoil yourself with your favorite toys. We like being outdoors here. We like, four-wheeling and ATVing and that kind of thing. Me time, like spas or, massages. We have a great desire for body work here in our house. My husband is a chef, so of course it's a big thing. Hire a housekeeper or a gardener. We've got the housekeeper, and I should actually change that. It drives me crazy when I use that word, and I don't know why I did that. It's a house cleaner. Our house cleaner comes every 2 weeks, and it's one of the best investments that we ever made, but we budget for it and we make sure that that's something that we can keep. It's very important to us to, you know, have the house cleaned up. Actually, it was kind of funny because she came, my husband broke his foot a month ago. And so I changed her day. I said to her, can you please come another day, because he's just home and he's got the cast on and he's just needs to rest. And we didn't need her, you know, sort of working around him. So she ended up coming like the following week. And so we said, great, no problem. But then her regular schedule was to come back a week later. So she came 2 weeks in a row is the long story. And boy, that was nice. And we both looked at each other and we're like, maybe we should be budgeting her every week instead of every 2 weeks. And I'm like, no, we don't need to do that yet. But you know, hiring somebody to clean your house or help in the garden or clean your pool or whatever the things are, you know, mow your lawn and all those kinds of things, or going out for dinner more often. Or my absolute favorite is home renovations. If you guys follow any of the stuff that I do, I try to, you know, share the things that I'm working on with you. And I absolutely love doing that stuff, but it costs money. And so we want to be able to pay that. So what would 5K a month help you do is the question, right? Whatever your reason is for wanting to build a successful business, I would love to help you do that. Like I say, you can take your 3 mistakes and you can leave today. But if you are looking for a plan and you want to get that plan done, then go to canadianaviator.org 5K-plan and look it up. Now I'm going to cover some questions, and you're absolutely welcome to PM me as well. And look at, you know, if you have any questions about anything, I'll cover some questions here just to make sure, because that's why we're live, right? You have billed an hourly rate of per hour. Yeah, okay, I'll cover this one after I'm finish the presentation there. I'll pop back to that one. Is this for newbies who are just starting? Does it cover the first steps to starting properly? Or is that a different workshop? Okay, this is not a getting started business whatsoever, or getting started workshop. That would be different training. What this is really looking at the structure of what a 5K business would look like. So what we'll do in it is we'll make sure that you know, are looking at your mindset. I'll show you business models and how that works, and I'll show you the math to do around your rates. And I'll show you service offerings that you can offer. We'll talk about what clients need. We'll talk about how to categorize packages. We'll talk about those kinds of things. And we'll talk about where to find clients, but it's not a getting started group. So I'm going to say no to that, but it doesn't mean that it's not valuable to you and something that you can move forward with, but it's not going to be a checklist of now you can get started in your business. This is really clearly about how to build a high level business that will, you know, earn you 5K a month. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Will you be offering this at another time? That's very possible, Erin. I'm not sure. It is the first time that I'm offering it. I tend to repeat my offers for sure if it's something that people want. I often don't know whether, you know, whenever I'm first starting out, if this is something that people are going to take advantage of. But it generally what happens is we do it once and then the price goes up, or the bonuses change, or the, you know, the schedule changes. So I will say probably yes, I would teach it again. But if you want to get in on it, I would, you know, sort of do that now. So I'm still working a full-time job while I'm building. My schedule will make it impossible to join the live workshop. Yes, actually, I'm sorry, I should have said that. There will be recording, absolutely. And there will be ability to get support from me. It is live. I know I'm enrolled in a 2-day live workshop yesterday or today and tomorrow, and I'm not present at it because of course I'm doing this. And so, but absolutely, yeah, there will be recording. You'll be able to go through it at your own pace for sure. So, and everybody else too, even if you do attend it live. So that's, you do work in the office on Thursday. So yeah, no problem. Okay. So, and I just have one more little thing for you, but like I said, PM me if you have any questions or anything like that. I would love if you would join us. It's $99 and it is definitely live and it's definitely hands-on, and we'll figure out for those who can't be live how to get you the support that you need. But you know, you guys know I'm very generous with my time, and I'm definitely here. Let me see, there we go. Your bonus mistake. And this is one that I don't actually, sometimes it comes through in the rest of the content that I deliver in this particular webinar, but it's learning skills to get started. And again, you know, whether you are, you know, just beginning, whether you're just thinking about it, or whether you're already in business and you're struggling because you seem to see only people looking for social media services and you don't offer those, and you feel like in order to get good clients, you should be offering social media services. This is 100%. Shows up in almost 100% of my conversations with VAs who are struggling to find clients, is they think they're offering the wrong services. And one of the things that the 5K plan will teach you is that you're absolutely not offering the wrong services, but I'm going to digress on that. So learning skills to get started. If you are on social media looking for clients and you're seeing that people are looking for social media services, it's because you're on social media. Okay. I think that one of the things that that escapes us is that people are looking for social media support on social media. So yeah, you're going to see it a lot. And it doesn't mean that it's not an in-demand service. It absolutely is. But there's a lot of other services that are in demand too. And one of the things that I tell VAs who are getting started is that every single business owner out there needs general admin support. And so sometimes we think we're less than because we offer general admin services, or that's all we know, right? We've been a secretary or admin assistant or an EA or something like that in a corporate setting, and we feel like those skills are not, we can't charge enough for them. We can't offer them to people. And so, you know, again, in the 5K plan, we'll talk about that and how that's just wrong. But it's really, really important to do what you know how to do best. And especially if you want to get clients in now, you need to be able to have clients using you, or, you know, hiring you for things that you know how to do. It doesn't mean that you can't grow your business by learning new skills. 100%, there's absolutely zero problem with that. But learning skills to get started is not the way to go, because you're already have a lack of confidence, right, in terms of signing a client. So you want to start with what you know now and then grow. Okay, that's what's really, really important. And so yeah, that's your little bonus mistake at the end. So I'm going to talk about those questions. I think I saw one more question. If you have any more, let me know. But basically, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to show you how to structure a 5K business and put it all together. Like I say, if that's not a goal that you have for yourself right now, all of the work that we'll do is absolutely valid for any other level as well. It's all the pieces that you need to put together. And it's one of the things that I teach sort of right at the get-go of my Getting Started program, because it's so important. You have to be able to look at this stuff. You have to be able to in order to understand it, you need to look at it. You need to do some math. You need to do a little bit of brainstorming. You need to do a little bit of you know, get feedback on specific questions and that kind of thing. And that's really what we're going to do in it. So we will talk about, you know, your timeline for getting things going, your framework, and basically teach you to make the decisions that you need to make. So it's $99 and you get the time management, the packages program, and you also get the private call with me. So questions, I'm going to pop back to that other one, which was so long up here. So this is what I have. Wendy says, you will be billed an hourly rate of 20 hours for tasks generally be completed in one. Okay, this is really confusing, Wendy. I think that's why I've gone by it a couple of times. Make your contracts as simple as possible. Okay, so it's and contracts are contracts, so they're legal. They need to be clear. So it's super simple that you know, tasks are billed at an hourly rate of X per hour. That's it. And you can't tell people that everything's going to be completed inside of 1 hour. And you can put in brackets billed in 15-minute increments. That's actually totally fine. But when you start explaining things, when you start to explain things too much, it shows that you don't have a confidence behind it. And the client starts to go, I don't really know if that's something that I'm going to invest in or not. You want to be absolutely clear. And so that's why when we start to talk about whether it's our services, whether it's our rates, whether it's our clients that we're working with, the more clarity that you get around things, it means succinct. Clarity is being as succinct as you can get, right? So that's what I want you to strive for sure. So for the first steps, will you be offering this at another time? I'm a business coach now, and I find I get stuck in the how, Diane. Okay, that's an interesting comment. I'm working with a business coach as well, and I find I get stuck in the how. I hope your business coach is pushing you through the how. I think that that's one of the things that, you know, coaches are supposed to be able to help you move forward, and I'm hoping that that is what you're doing, and that's one of the things that you get stuck in the how. So therefore, you're working with a business coach who's pushing you through. So there we go. Do work in the office. How long is this offer available for? Well, the program starts on April 15th. See, I did it. So April 14th. So it's available before then. I'll probably close registration Friday before, just so that I know how many people are here and what we're doing. But it's certainly available today. I'm going to be offering it also to the general public starting tomorrow. But you guys get all the lovely bonuses and that kind of thing as well. And so I'm happy to answer any questions. I do hope that you sign up with us, but I'm going to let you go because I see now that I'm actually past my 1 hour that I wanted to promise you. And that's it. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'll follow up with you to make sure that you got everything that you wanted out of this training. And if you have any questions about anything moving forward, it doesn't necessarily need to be this 5K plan, but it definitely can be anything that you need a resource on. I have lots of them, and I like to follow up with people after a webinar. So, all right, that's it. That's all for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll chat soon. Take care.